everyone. My name is Amin Mohammed. I am a planning analytics practice lead at Octane, and today I'm going to take you through to my top 10 capabilities of planning analytics. So just mind that this is my personal, favorite. So there could be many more, capabilities that I may not be covering here, but let's just get started with it and see how it all goes. Okay, I have decided to divide my list into Path A and PAW as they have their own unique capabilities, as you might know, and I want to probably highlight them separately. So let's get started with Path A first. So let's start with the TM1 set function. So this function has finally enabled the option to use the alternate hierarchies within Path A reports as well as TM1 web. So it offers the same capabilities as SubNM, as you might, or most of you might be aware of, but it does not just stop there. It primarily has like 9 arguments as opposed to like 4 that you had in SubNM, and it also supports the MDX expressions as one of the arguments. So you can actually leverage the power of MDX with this function. Double clicking on it would open just like any other set editor, and it can be safely used as a good replacement to SubNM, in my opinion, in the near future. So I'm definitely betting on that one. So yeah, I would say this is definitely one of my favorite functions due to its added flexibility that it offers. Going forward, so to offer the consistent user experience with Planning Analytics Workspace and Cognos Analytics, certain components, such as the set editor and cube viewer in Pafe now follows the same carbon design principles. So you not only now see the enhanced look and feel of certain components in Pafe, but you also get all the improved capabilities we have in PAW to make the most out of your experience with these components. So that's a good add-on, I would say, worth highlighting. Um, Moving forward, so the next one that I want to cover is the user-defined calculations. And hands down, this is currently my most favorite capability of all. This actually allows you to create your own custom calculations using define calc function in Pafe that, by the way, also works in TM1 Web. This allows you to perform various calculations such as consolidating the data based on few selected elements, calculate variances, etc. pretty easily. In the absence of this function earlier, what we had to do was we had to create custom consolidation elements in the dimension itself to achieve these results, leading to multiple consolidated elements within your dimension, making it very convoluted. So having this is a pretty big relief, in my opinion. The only downside, if I have to mention, is the fact that it's a little too technical. So someone using this would definitely require good MDX skills to take the most of it out of it. And as powerful as MDX is, I know that it can be a bit technical for few of the users who actually use this. So that could just be one of the barrier for people to mass adopt it. And also bear in mind that the s calcman is one of the argument within this function. That's the argument where you actually define the variable name. It is currently case sensitive, so just bear that in mind. But I'm sure that should be fixed in the future releases. All right, so the version control utility that you currently have right now, it actually helps you to validate if the version of Pafe you are using is compatible with the data source version of Planning Analytics local. So when you connect to a particular database or a data source, the version control utility actually checks for the compatibility version of Pafe. And if the data source and Pafe are not compatible, you cannot use Pafe until you update the software to a latest or another supported version, for example. It actually uses three capability or the compatibility types to highlight the status of the compatibility. And now those are like you have got a compatibility status called normal or warning, or you might even see something called blocked. So in addition to that, the administrators can also now configure the version control to download a specific version of Pafe when the update button is clicked. So this actually helps in getting the right version of Pafe across your organization that is compatible with your data source version. So that's all I have, that I wanted to cover for Pafe. Let's now look at some of the capabilities of the Planning Analytics Workspace, also known as PAW. Okay, so Planning Analytics Workspace has added the single cell widget as a visualization now. So before this, one could still add the single cell widget by right-clicking a particular data point. However, it had its own limitations. One limitation being, you won't be able to, once you have the widget in the canvas, you won't be able to actually update the dimension filters, and it was very static. So this is no more the case with the single widget as a visualization now you can actually change the filters, and the data would or the widget would update the data accordingly. So that's the limitation that has been addressed with this added as a visualization. Just note that you can also transform the widget to another visualization anytime, and it works vice versa as well. So you can also use any other visualization and convert that into a widget. One thing to note is that when you add, the widget, the data point that you had selected at that point is what would be reflected in it. So if nothing is selected, for example, then it takes the top left of the first data point in the view to create the widget. Okay, so the next couple of slides that I want to cover relates to the capabilities of the plan and applications in Planning Analytics Workspace. There has definitely been, very significant improvements in this area. There has been a lot of capabilities that has been added to make it a bit more robust. It initially, started with it just being as a framework, really, to implement the workflow. And now I can clearly see it is becoming a fully matured workflow component. You can actually now even send the email notification reminders to the contributors by the click of a button. So this capability was clearly not there before. This functionality is actually available in the contribution panel of the overview report. So you would have that section. From there you can see the button, and once you click on it, it would send the email out. The email option gets activated only when the status is pending approval or pending submission state. So it's only activated when the status is either of those two. And clicking that icon will send the email to the members of the group to which you have assigned the task. So it sends, to multiple users depending on how many users are, assigned to the group that you have assigned for that particular task. Then, additionally, what you also have is you can now add the task dependencies in the plans, which could, probably let you to control the order in which the tasks can be completed. So say if there are two tasks and the task two is dependent on task one, you cannot open the task two unless the task one is completed. So it actually forces the users to do the right thing by opening the relevant task and then not letting the other tasks to be open until the prerequisite task is actually already completed. So that way, the users are forced to follow the workflow and follow the steps in order. And moving ahead, there are also certain events in plans and applications that also triggers the email notifications. So unlike the capability in the previous slide that I just walked you to, these ones are not manually triggered. So the previous ones that I showed you, you actually have to go to a particular section of the OV report and then click at a button. Whereas these emails that I'm talking about are fully automated, and they are purely event based. So when I say events, the events could be such as opening a plan step, submitting a particular step event for that matter, approving or rejecting a step are some of the examples that actually triggers those emails. The email that will be going out could also have a link that takes the user directly to the plan step in pause. So that's a very, very good capability, I would say, that has been added. So this makes the planning process a bit more easier for the users to follow. So PAW actually now provides the capability to share the link that directs the users to a particular folder within the Planning Analytics workspace. So this applies to really all the folders that are within the shared, the personal, the favorites, or the recent tabs that you have in there. So this is also pretty good, so because this actually helps in sharing the information a bit more easier for the users. So good ad, definitely, I would say, and this actually makes the navigation process a bit more easier for the users. Okay, so the administrator can actually now configure to send the emails, to send the books really, or the views as an email in Planning Analytics logo. So before, you did not have that functionality to send the books that you have, or a particular view that you have in your book as an email. You could only export it into certain formats, and then only you can share it. But now you can actually enable the email functionality that could allow you to send the books or the views through via an email. So once configured, the email tab actually becomes available in the book, and you are able to share the view or book via the email, the option which otherwise was not available before. Moving ahead, so workspace actually now also allows you to upload the files to the Planning Analytics database. Yes, you heard it right. So now you can actually upload the files straight away to the Planning Analytics database. You could do that either manually using the file manager, which is one of the utility that you have in the workspace, or through a TI process using just your standard ASCII output or text output function. Note that you can open the file manager only from the workbench, right? So that cannot be done when you're in the book. So once the file is uploaded, you can actually use the file in the TI process to load the data into TM1. So what IBM has come up with is they have actually come up with a new property within the action button that allows you to upload the file when running the TI process. So when you enable it, the TI process will prompt you to upload the file. Just bear in mind that you cannot run the process till the file has been successfully uploaded. So if your file size is big, then yeah, it may take time for that to happen, because it needs to first upload the file to the database, and then you may be able to run the process. So this way, the users do not have to save the file in the shared location anymore, and just upload it from their local desktop and simply load the data. So that's pretty handy functionality as well that they have added, and I particularly like it. Then the final one that I wanted to cover here is the ability to create your own custom themes. So now this actually is helpful to really align the coloring as per your corporate design, or you might have your corporate theme. You might want to build your report such a way that when any user opens it, it feels as if it's your own website, intranet website that they are working on. So this is actually removing all the limitation that you have to where you only use the pre-built colors and the themes, but you can actually customize it to your requirement. So that actually gives you that added functionality. All right, so that's all I have for now. I hope you definitely found at least some of them pretty useful and worth exploring more. So thank you for your time. Bye.